Hey guys, thank you for stopping by for another video here at All I See Is W. In today's video, I'd like to talk about the latest updates with Bitcoin. Most of you are wondering what's my price prediction on Bitcoin, as well as price prediction with MSTR strategy. I'll go through my reasons why I believe that strategy MSTR is currently a buy now before the big run up. I would recommend watching through the entire video. I'll go through my price prediction of MSTR, what my price prediction in April and the end of the year would be. Now, if you're new to this channel, first off, I would really appreciate the love and support by first hitting the like, subscribing, turn on the bell notifications so you don't miss a beat. Let's get started, guys. Now, first off, I wanted to cover the latest updates with Bitcoin. As you can see, we're currently hovering at around the $98,000. Just recently with the latest updates, Kentucky joined states considering Bitcoin reserves, spurring a potential global accumulation race amid regulatory challenges and volatility. We heard about Utah, we heard about Arizona, one of the leading states to get approval for strategic Bitcoin reserve. Eventually, we're just going to start hearing states buying up Bitcoin, supporting the US strategy of a sovereign wealth fund, as well as hodling up Bitcoin to be the main powerhouse of Bitcoin and AI. We've also heard about BlackRock continuing to just have billions of inflows into their ETF that was created in the US, IBIT, which we all know of, and now they're expanding Bitcoin offerings into the European markets as well, which really increases the growing institutional crypto demand in different countries as well. Hong Kong as well now accepts Bitcoin for investment immigration, meeting its HK 30 billion asset requirement, boosting its crypto hub status. And now we're also talking about Bitcoin developers advancing quantum resistant upgrades to protect assets from future quantum computing threats. So now looking at AI and Bitcoin, I think those go in complementary with one another, but overall, there's going to be an increased demand of Bitcoin. So what does this mean? Bitcoin price now currently hovering at 98,000. I think we're just in that healthy consolidation phase. I do foresee that in the upcoming April 2025, we're going to see some price action with Bitcoin. Let's also take a look at just overall rainbow chart here. So what we're looking at is just vertical halving events that took place. April 2024 was the last halving event. Key takeaway is now that we're getting, you know, three-fourths close to about a year since that halving event, we're still in that Bitcoin accumulation phase. It's still buying in at the cheap phase before we have that run up with RSI of like 80 plus on multiple occurrences in the year 2025. So we haven't seen Bitcoin break through its Bitcoin bull cycle, and we're going to see some bullish action in 2025. I'm forecasting Q1, we're going to see that breakthrough 130,000 at a minimum. 2025, I do see that, 200,000 is very well achievable. Let's take a look at updates with Michael Saylor. So we're looking at the Saylor tracker here, and now we're beginning to see all of the blue lines really just be taken over by the green dots. Green dots represent continual dollar cost averaging. We continue to see green dots. I mean, going all the way back to like 2020 now. So it's just 5 years of consistent buying. Doesn't matter if it's at a high dollar cost average or a low dollar cost average. You see Bitcoin being bought up, less than like 10,000 up to about, $100,000. So there you have it. The Sailor tracker just shows that green dots will just continue to happen. And is this an indicator, a road to hodling up close to 1 million Bitcoin on strategies, Bitcoin Treasury? Who knows? It may very well be possible given the fact that, strategy MSTR now holds almost 500,000 of Bitcoins. Let's take a look at the latest updates here. So we're looking at Bitcoin treasuries, just overall holdings of Bitcoin. Now, what we see here is an outdated Bitcoin treasury amount, 471,000. In fact, just with today's update, it's actually up to 478,000 Bitcoin. There's no other company worldwide that has the most amount of Bitcoin that MicroStrategy has. I mean, they are truly the titan in the industry. I mean, when you look at ETFs, which is in orange here, yes, BlackRock has more Bitcoin than strategy, but when you think about BlackRock, they don't technically own these Bitcoins. The shareholders who invest in their ETFs, like IBIT, own the uh, Bitcoins that are hedged against the investments that these shareholders invest in. But overall, BlackRock does have a holding on these Bitcoins because of what shareholders have invested in. Now, you see here, you have Mara, Riot, CleanSpark. They are the Bitcoin miners that's behind Mara. But, just looking at Mara's numbers, 45,000, 18,000 with Riot Platforms, and CleanSpark reaching above that 10,000 mark, but nowhere close to the amount that MicroStrategy has here. Let's take a look at this posting from X here from Rob HODL. So if so, three massive bullish factors converge. BTC Hoard reaches critical mass with 1 million in sight. MSTR adopts fair value FASB accounting, posting tens of billions in profit, shocking Wall Street. So we do know that FASB wasn't taken into effect yet. I mean, we didn't see that in the Q4 earnings report that was recently announced by MSTR. We're about less than 90 days away for MSTR to announce, their overall earnings report for Q1 of 2025, and I believe we're going to see some huge price action. FASB reporting really going to show MSTR, having huge profits just with Q1 data alone. Capital 1.0 is done. Capital Plan 2.0 is announced, but doubled to $84 billion. Let's take a look at this posting by Michael Saylor. So MSTR today continues to buy on the weekly charts here. I mean, they bought up 7,633 Bitcoin for $742 million at 97,000 per Bitcoin, and they've achieved a Bitcoin yield of 4.1 yield to date, overall holding up to 478,740 Bitcoin. Their overall average is very low compared to the industry standard, still at 65,000, even though they continue to buy at current state. So very bullish with this news here with their continuous levers. There's a lot of talks about, why buy Bitcoin when you can mine at, a certain price. I think the way that strategy has set up their business model, their benefit is having the most amount of Bitcoin on their balance sheet and just gaining traction on the overall Bitcoin dollar yield, return on investment, with the price of Bitcoin continuing to go up. I mean, Bitcoin, even Kathy Woods predicted that, come, 2030, we're going to see $1.5 million. So that's 15x of the current value of Bitcoin. That just tells you how much power the Bitcoin commodity has, and the fact that MSTR has the most amount of Bitcoin on their treasury. They're going to be in the multi-trillion dollars, bypassing all of the Magnificent Seven companies. Let's take a look at this posting here from Sean, running down BlackRock's IBIT ETF wild time. So, top Bitcoin holders in the world, Satoshi, the developer, he has over 1 million Bitcoins, and he did such a grateful thing, sharing back to the world, with the 20 million Bitcoins. Binance has 624,000 Bitcoins. We have here BlackRock right behind Binance at 585,000. Who's behind BlackRock? You have Strategy Bitcoin here at 478,000. So they're getting close to bypassing BlackRock. I think it's a race right now. One of the interesting things is that BlackRock actually bought up, 5% of Strategy Bitcoin MSTR that they had a report to the SEC. Interesting thing is, Fidelity continues to ramp up their Bitcoin HODL as well. And just looking at the US government, 198,000 versus Chinese government, 194,000, based on just all of the Bitcoins that have been seized to date. But solid numbers here. MicroStrategy, I think they're just going to continue racing up that total number here. Most likely they'll never bypass Satoshi, but I think that they'll be in the top three eventually. Let's look at this posting from Adam Livingston here. The ultimate game changer is here. MSTR's 18 billion convertible bona fide bomb is about to unleash stock surge price. Now that we've tapped the most of the ATM, imagine a moment when strategy, already the titan of Bitcoin accumulation, pulls the trigger on the remaining 18 billion of its convertible bonds, a masterstroke that re-leverages its balance sheet into an unstoppable force. This is the ultimate financial mic drop that's set to propel the MNAV well past the 2.0 mark, igniting a stock price surge that will leave the market in awe. Let's break it down. The convertible bond magic. Convertible bonds are like the Swiss Army knife of finance. They start as debt but come with a built-in option to morph into equity if the stock price skyrockets. This means MSCR can raise capital without immediate dilution headaches while keeping the door wide open for conversion while the timing is right. As the bonds convert, the supply of shares tightens, turbocharging the upward pressure on the stock price. With every bond conversion, investors witness a tangible transformation of hidden asset value into public market glory. MNAV on steroids. The MNAV is essentially the market's pulse on the real, unfiltered value of MSTR's Bitcoin empire. When these convertible bonds are deployed to acquire more Bitcoin, the tangible net asset value jumps dramatically, and the market's eyes will soon be wide open to the truth. As MSTR's Bitcoin hoard swells, every dollar in the digital gold becomes a multiplier, pushing the MNAV beyond the 2.0 threshold. This is the catalyst that makes traditional valuation models tremble as the balance sheet starts reflecting as asset base so massive it forces Wall Street analysts to scramble and revise their target price upward, accumulating a Bitcoin behemoth. This is where the real magic happens by leveraging the 18 billion convertible arsenal. MSTR is trying to aggressively acquire Bitcoin, and we're talking about a hoard that will exceed 500,000 Bitcoin extremely soon. As a company locks in more digital gold, it transforms from being just a tech firm into the ultimate Bitcoin ETF with a corporate flywheel attached. The market awakens. Imagine a world where the every bond conversion and every new Bitcoin purchase is like a shot of adrenaline straight to MicroStrategy's valuation. Institutional fund managers, value investors, and even the most skeptical analysts will be forced to recalibrate their models. Suddenly, MSTR isn't just riding the Bitcoin wave, it's steering the ship. As the MNAV climbs, the stock price surges, the market will realize that Strategy's convertible bond strategy is not just clever finance, it's a revolution in capital allocation, a seismic shift that turns assets into explosive growth. This year is the moment when traditional finance world meets its reckoning. MSTR's re-leveraging via convertible bonds is a secret lever to unleash a cascade of Bitcoin-fueled value, a catalyst that will propel the stock into an astronomical ascent. The era of passive fiat has ended. The age of strategic, high octane Bitcoin accumulation is here, and MSCR is leading the charge with an arsenal of convertible capital that's nothing short of revolutionary. Buckle up, kiddos. The strategy rocket is about to ignite. So, very bullish comment here. There's a lot to digest. Let's take a look at technicals now. Most of you are wondering what my price prediction is. We talked about Bitcoin price, reaching at a minimum 130,000 come Q1 of 2025. I do think that as we hit that time frame, along with April time frame with price of Bitcoin going up, we're going to see that $750. We're definitely going to see that retest in Q1 to 550. I'm forecasting by April, we're going to see that $750 all-time high as we progress towards the later half of 2025. I think that what we're going to see is Bitcoin price is going to break through that $200,000 range. We're in that consolidation phase. We've gone past 3 months of consolidation since November. I think we're in this bullish flag pattern here, but definitely 2025 as Bitcoin price ramps up to 200K, the Bitcoin yield gains on just the total HODL that MSTR has, that's really going to be reflected in their share price. And as a result, I'm forecasting we're going to see a target price of $1,200 in the year 2025. So there you have it. That's my price target and my reasons why I believe MSTR has huge upside in 2025. There truly is no other company that could dominate as much as MSTR. Even MSTR dominates what Nvidia has shown with the prior years, and MSTR will continue to dominate. That's my overall perspective. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would really appreciate you hitting the like, subscribing. Let me know where you're from and what your price prediction is. Thank you guys.